Like we always do about this time.
I don't know.
What's
going on, world? It's your girl, Black Bubba.
Chill. Welcome on the building.
And of course,
I got a rep where I'm from. I got a rep where I'm from. Where you from? I'm from the murder cap. What's up?
It's that nigga.
all day, every day.
All day, every day.
I'm
Still that nigga. Nigga. I'm still that nigga.
Listen, y'all already know what it is. Y'all see how hype we is.
Yeah, we
It
hype.
is tomfoolery time.
Gang, gang.
Tomfoolery.
If you don't know what the name of the show is, welcome to I.O.W. Wonder. This is your podcast, Gang, checking in with
What's
you.
good? What's good? What up, though?
Before we eavesdrop into
poppin'.
this tomfoolery conversation, make sure that you guys go over to the website, www.
Dot.
Whoa, nigga.
How many W's you need, nigga?
www.
That west side, nigga. www.
.com. Listen, I got real excited.
West side.
I got real excited.
www, nigga.
I got
WWE.
real excited. I was
Got the
thinking
hammer in this mug.
Anyway,
Finger four, leg lock, nigga.
make sure y'all go to the website and check out everything there.
Right.
You go to the website, you can find the merch. You
Merch.
can find information.
Information.
As Mar has on. Find information on us. You can find our top rated video. There's so many things, which for those that don't know, our top rated video, I think, still is homosexuality in the church. So that right there, and it keeps going up, man.
People love controversy.
People love controversy.
They do.
Controversy.
They love it. You can leave us a comment. You can see the crazy photos that Jamel decided to do with our photo shoot with this hood on his head.
Yeah.
Throw your hood up.
That was
Throw your hood up.
But if
Where
you
my
go,
hood? Where my hood at?
Hey.
But if you go down to the bottom, you can join our Patreon page to get a lot of the behind the scenes
check it out.
stuff with us.
Check
the day with
it
Barbara
out.
Walters.
Right.
If you see anything crazy on there from that nigga, please let one of us know.
Never know what a nigga like me might be doing.
Please let us know so we can take it down. Because sometimes we don't see it. Just
No, I ain't trying to see nothing. That
I don't want to see it, but I want to make sure that he ain't doing nothing crazy.
You're saying you never know what I might do.
That's the problem.
I'm still traumatized off our NFL Week 1 picks. And this nigga said, the Lions win the Super Bowl. I'm going to stand on the table and just pull out my dad. I'm like, whoa.
Hey, nigga.
Flag on the play.
Just saying.
No.
Flag on the play. Yeah. I don't even want to touch that rat. I have no idea what you've been doing with that rat. Because you kind of picked that up out of nowhere. What
Hey,
you been
know
doing
what
with
I'm
that rat? It got some stains and shit on it. See, that's the shit.
Get it off my computer.
In case you want to know.
Get it off my computer.
When it's been a while, so the stains look like they dry up. So.
All right.
Wiping your black ass with that shit. Oh, God. You know what? I don't even think
No,
we
that's
got a
one-
topic, y'all.
There really isn't. It's been a minute since we kind of did a shoot the breeze kind of convo and caught up with y'all.
What up, though?
Uh-oh. You sound like you got something on your chest.
Nigga sound like the weed kicking in.
Yeah, I'm still a little faded.
You sound like you got something on your chest.
I'm still a
though.
little faded. Now, is one thing that's been kind of in the back of my head with the Breonna Taylor situation.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about that.
We already know it's fucked up, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
We get that. Now, I think a lot of people haven't looked at this situation and disrespect him, and I'm not trying to cause any controversy, but I got a feeling it will.
Okay.
Well, controversial.
You know, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to say what I got to say.
Say your thing.
So, maybe a couple of weeks ago, I don't know if anybody paid attention to this, but the Taylor family received $12 million
Right.
Thank you.
from
Thank
the
you.
city of Louisville. So, right when I heard that they took the money, I said,
there was no
"It's a
justice
wrap.
for it."
It's a wrap." Look, let's keep it funky. Anytime a city is offering a family money,
They know they're wrong.
it's because they know they're wrong. That's one. And two, they just want the situation to go away.
Right.
So the fact that time has gone by, and then now you got the defense attorney, whatever, not defense attorney, what's his name, Darren,
The Crump nigga.
Dum dum.
the Trump lover, yeah,
Dum dum.
Oh, you talking about Daniel?
yeah, Daniel.
Daniel Dum Dum.
Yeah, I know you talking about. Yeah.
No, you know what? I know everybody wants to be mad at him.
I'm not mad at him.
But
I
here's my
just-
thing about this: he has people he has to answer to,
Right,
and they don't look like us.
Right, and that's what I'm saying.
So I'm not surprised that
For
he
me-
took that stance.
For me, I'm not mad at him. I can understand his position of taking that stand, but at the same time, where does your loyalty lie?
Of course.
Where do you see
We-
the bigger issue at?
We know where his loyalty lies. We know where his bread gets buttered at. We know that. I'm just saying, I'm not surprised that happened.
Oh, yeah, I'm not
because
surprised at it.
he has people he answers to.
He'll still be Daniel Dum Dum to me though. I'm just gonna let it
But
know.
So you can sit there and say, "Oh, well, the grand jury came back with not enough," and we know what's up.
Well,
he can make that decision.
Before we go into what you're going to say, because I know you had something you probably going
Right.
to play.
Yeah.
I want to say something about what you just talked about with the money wise, because a friend and I had this conversation he was on live, and we know that they were, we know that the city paid them that amount of money.
Yeah.
But what
Reports I saw 12 million.
Right. What stipulations came with that money?
I-
That's what my questions
I'm pretty
are.
sure there's an NDA involved.
Right.
Right.
What questions?
Right.
Because
Don't talk about this shit no more.
because I can understand them taking the money, but there will be certain stipulations that I would not agree to. I would take that money, and then I would find me a certain lawyer to go after each of these
still
cops.
prosecute.
Right, because once you take this money, it's done for.
And that's
as
what
far
I
as the city.
And that's why I needed to say this, because anytime you take that money from that city, like, you pretty much are just saying, well, this is as much justice we're going to get.
Right.
And to me, that puts that family in a bind, because you want actual justice. But let's be honest, more times than not, first of all, bringing charges upon a cop is hard to do.
Yeah.
Let alone get a conviction on a cop is damn near impossible. So I can understand that point of taking the 12 million, but at the same time, does that 12 million, is that an actual justice for it, or better yet, is that even value for your daughter's life?
I don't think it is. But
Right.
you also have to look at the factor of this, and this is what my friend and I were talking about as well. You're offering, and I hate to put it this way, but facts are facts, and then some people probably not gonna like it. You're offering a black family that ain't never seen that kind of money.
Of course.
Who's been stuck in whatever
And that's what I'm saying.
situation.
That's a conundrum that is going to
you're-
happen.
Yeah, they're gonna take that money. You're not talking about 1 million. You're talking about
12.
12 million. Shoot, 1 million change your
1
life.
million,
Yes.
right?
Especially if you don't have the money.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you're not used to
You
see
been
that kind
broke.
of money.
Look, right? I've been broke.
Right.
Listen, I'm
You
still broke.
give me 500,000.
I'm
I might be like, I be like my man on Fridays. You guys titties.
Yeah.
Right.
150.
Right.
Big
Yeah,
ass
two
titties.
dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See,
So
but
I
that's-
understand that.
But that's why I need to
Yeah.
talk this, because I'm like, how that Breonna Taylor's family, I don't know how the hell, I'm not saying I don't know how you take the money. I'm just saying, how do you come up with a decision on what you feel is right of being justice for what happened to your loved one?
Well, see, I don't think, here's the thing. I think it's a bunch of little nuances in there.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I
Most
think
definitely.
that, first of all, and like I said, since we never really talked to them, we all speculating.
Yeah.
But they might have been saying, well, they might have said, we ain't gonna get justice.
And that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at least let's leave out of here with something.
Something.
And then you also got to think about, not to cut you off, but you got to think about it. As long as this goes on, that family's not properly being able to grieve.
Right.
Well, because
So
it's
that's-
been going on
yeah.
since what, March?
Was
I
it March
feel
or
like it's
April?
been-
At least March.
Oh yeah, at least that. It's been on for a while.
Because
Put
it
that
was
way.
damn near pretty much the same time George Floyd happened. So you talking about
No, wait a minute. That's the one. No, that's Ahmaud Arbery. I think that happened.
in
Actually,
Georgia.
like the
Yeah.
say, but happened like
So it was
way before the time they put it out.
Yeah.
That,
It was-
that was Arbery.
But it was March. It was March 13th to be exact. March 13th.
That's a
Okay.
lot. They had no chance to grieve.
No.
So I guess maybe that $12 million kind of brings closure.
It don't
I
bring
know.
closure. I don't think it brings closure. I think it's just like they just saw they was like, you know what, we ain't gonna get nothing. Let's just try to make it out here with something.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. I guess that's your closure on that whole situation.
Right. And I it's one of those things that's hard because like Alexa alluded to and said, if you don't have that kind of money, and people dangling in front of your face, I understand it.
Well,
so I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna sit here and say, I'm not gonna condemn you for that.
No, I'm not condemning.
I know you're not. I'm just saying,
not at all.
I'm just trying to bring clarity to our point for those who may be watching. It's not that we're condemning them from that. It's just like trying to like anything else. Well, all the things that's happening, that it happened and is happening, you're trying to sift through that kind of stuff, and you're trying to like rationalize certain things and trying to figure out what's going on. So this is our way of talking that out.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out, hey, this is what's being in our head. We just having a platform to kind of, speak out what is in our heads. Mm-hmm. And I think that when you're dealing with this kind of situation and it's happening over and over and over again.
And it's going to happen again.
Like I was watching some things
on
social media that happened.
It's going to.
Just recent. I'm like, this is getting ridiculous.
It's still going.
So where do you draw the line? And I think it's time to separate ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily saying go back to Africa and stuff like that, but separate us.
Clear that up, because you're not saying segregation.
Well, yes and no.
Okay. All right.
What I mean by that.
Clear that up for me.
Okay.
Clear it up for me.
So we need to segregate as a community and build our own things.
Okay. Now, if you're going that way,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not saying that. And the reason why I say is yes and no is because you think about segregation and how it happened in this country and where we end up on the backside of segregation. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the backside of segregation is right now.
I'm just saying. But I'm saying where we ended up at. I'm just talking about throughout history.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you look at it like this. In the 20s, when you had the Harlem Renaissance, right? Black people were booming.
Yeah, flourishing.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of white communities wasn't.
Yeah.
So then what they come in, they destroy Harlem. Mm-hmm. So then you look at Black Wall Street. Yep. You look at Seneca Village when black people was in Central Park. That was a black owned village. So you see all the different places where black people were flourishing. Even during the 50s and the 60s, black people were starting to flourish.
They destroyed it.
You know what I'm saying? So they started doing things that started
destroying
that.
That's Candace Owens' very loved speaking point. It's
right.
Like little 10 years right there.
Right.
In the 50s and 60s.
But see, the point, what she missing out on, black people flourish during certain time periods. But why they not flourishing now is the part that she doesn't bring up.
Right.
It's because they came into our neighborhoods and started doing other things. Now, and on top of that, they made the other side, the grass look so green on the other side that we wanted to run and see, what's that?
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
we never had it.
Because, you know what I'm saying? But instead of just staying where we were and let them come to us. So it's not like I'm saying that we should segregate and totally segregate for everyone, but we segregate at a time, build our own stuff, and if other people come,
it almost needs to
spend their money. So big, get their money.
It almost needs to be like we need to become like an Indian tribe,
right?
Because they segregate themselves from certain cultures and whatnot, but they still flourish.
Well,
they
took care of themselves,
right,
before even trying to help outside
everybody else. And
until they got on the reservation, and now they're not doing so well.
Yeah, down there.
Well, that's another show,
right?
Another topic.
A whole nother topic.
I want to play this from Tamika Mallory.
Okay.
That's her mama, right?
No, she's an activist.
Yeah.
I love her, man.
I've seen her.
Black mama's house and shot her to death. He's more committed to the white supremacy that he is upholding. He mentioned at the press conference, which I thought was quite interesting, that he's a black man. And as I laid and cried and hurt for Tamika Palmer and for Breonna Taylor and for Kenny Walker and for Janiyah, who we need to love up on. As I laid there and I thought about him saying he's a black man, I thought about the ships that went into Fort Monroe and Jamestown with our people on them over 400 years ago. and how there were also black men on those ships that were responsible for bringing our people over here.
That part right
Daniel
there.
Cameron is no different than the sellout Negroes that sold our people into slavery and helped white men to capture our people, to abuse them and to traffic them while our women were raped, while our men were raped by savages. That is who you are, Daniel Cameron. You are a coward. You are a sellout, and you were used by the system to harm your own mama, your own black mama. We have no respect for you. No respect for your black skin. Because all of our skin folk ain't our
kinfolk. Hey, let's go on break and marinate on that.
Yeah,
we
we're
need to
gonna
come
go
back
on break.
that.
Yeah, we'll be right back. Y'all stay
marinate on
tuned.
that
Y'all
shit
think on
right
that one right there.
Damn.
I used to think about immature things. You know, like, do you love me? Do you want me? Are you gonna call me like you said you would? Is this really your real phone number? But you know, I'm a man now, baby, a grown man. And I came a long way. The experience taught me one thing. Taught me to hold on to my love. Sometimes I just can't help thinking living without you, baby.
Wrote the whole song.
Sometimes I just can't live crying about you, baby. I'm not worried about a doggone thing. I take anything you bring. Although I love the sunshine, I still accept the rain. 'Cause when I'm in my lonely mood and I just can't be with you, I tried everything.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Y'all already know it's
That
always.
boy's about to lose it.
Listen, y'all know it's always a whole vibe on commercial break music over here, man. You giving me a lot of static every time you grab your microphone. I'm gonna need you to chill out.
No, sir.
Hey, that nigga voice get high. I'm sorry. He always get up there. I be like, dang, nigga, how you get up that high?
No.
Back to today's topic of hand.
Right.
We're talking about Breonna Taylor. We're kind of just we are. Let me say this.
Kind of shooting the shit.
We are giving our opinions of the situation. We are giving our views and what we feel. So don't come in the comments acting stupid.
And at that point, I might feel different about the situation than them too. Vice versa. So we not all,
monolith.
Yeah, we don't get along all the time. Trust me. Trust me, we don't all agree all the time either.
Right.
But that's why you have us as a show. See. But before the break, you played. What's her name? I can't remember her name.
Tamika Mallory.
Tamika Mallory. Yeah, she be getting on niggas.
She be going in.
But she said something that what was similar to what I was alluding to, because yes, we know Daniel Cameron has to answer to a whole lot of other people who don't look like us.
Right.
And when I say us, for those that are audio, we're talking about the African American community, us black folks. Okay. Excuse me.
Right.
But that's why I was trying to say, like, where do you draw your line at? Because this is my thing.
Go ahead. Say it.
Yeah.
We want our people to succeed. We need more of our people in these places
In those
of this.
seats.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
But granted, yes, you have to answer to all these white folks. But where do you take your stand to bring the difference and to bring the justice towards that whole judicial system?
Right. All money ain't good money.
Right.
All right. And I think the problem is that because a lot of us, we talking a generalization, a lot of us comes from impoverished situations.
Right.
We work our way up the ladder, quote unquote, the proverbial ladder.
Right.
We get to certain status, certain levels. We get used to those levels. We get complacent in those levels. And so when things come to challenge those levels, or that will make us think we may lose those levels, lose that prestige, we do everything we need to do to hold on to that. Where you should never. This is my philosophy. I try not to go into things thinking about money is the reason why I go into it.
That part.
Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, you want to make money. The reason why we doing this is because we love it and we want to make money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But money is not my motivating factor.
It's never been.
So if I reach a certain where I can still take care of my family and stuff like that, and it goes to where I can make more money but violate my principles, I'd rather stay at the level I'm at and still take care of my family.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've been broke. I mean, I'm broke now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Join the club.
So it's not like...
That's one thing we all agree
Right.
on.
Right. We all broke. We all broke.
And I think,
All broke.
and at the same time, I have experienced some things that, you know, were quote unquote, because I know some people here and there, and I experienced some good life type things, what you want to call it. And it was nice. And, you know, it was fun to stay in certain hotels, eat certain...
Experience certain things.
Experience certain things, go certain places. But at the same time, you know, who is the core person? Who are you?
I mean, that says
You know
a
what
lot.
I'm saying? And that speaks to
if
who you are.
If you're going that way, that says a lot about him.
Right.
Yep.
Right. If it violates your principle, if you know that like Tamika has said, you know what I'm saying? And another part that we didn't get a chance to hear, did it happen on the same, this verdict came down the same time the Emmett Till incident happened. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like, you being a black man, since you claim you're a black man, Daniel Cameron, you should know that history.
Right.
And then knowing that Joe ancestors came over here, you know, and went through what they went through the transatlantic slave trade. If you don't think you can get justice, then maybe you should step down from that and not let them use you as a puppet.
Because that's what I really wanted to get at. And that's why, you know, he's getting the label sellout.
Right.
And you can make that case that he is. Me personally, I'm not going to go that far.
Okay.
Just because he is in a position that has to answer to somebody else.
Understand that.
Yes.
But let me point this to you.
Yeah.
We was talking earlier about where we used to work at.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you went in the office, they offered you money that you thought was worth your skills.
Your value.
Your value. Right? So then you working in that position, they say, okay, but I don't want you to do X, Y, Z, which violates your principles. So do you do X, Y, Z because you answer to them people now?
Yeah.
And if you don't do X, Y, Z, it's gonna cut off your income. So what do?
You know me. I'm not doing that. But I'm not saying I'm not expecting him to do what I would do.
Right.
I'm not expecting him to have that same morality and same, I guess, values and morals inside of me.
But
I'm not expecting that from him.
But I think my problem is that is the bigger issue.
Right.
We're not holding people to those standards.
Because I would expect more of him, because if you look at everything that we've dealt with since...
And for him to actually be in that position.
Right.
I get you.
Because
I'm
you
with
saw,
on that.
you saw George Floyd.
Yes.
You saw, you know, even if you go further back, you saw Trayvon Martin.
Right.
You saw all of these, and
Right.
then it comes to Breonna. This is in your home. This is where you can make a difference. Knowing all of the history and everything, regardless of who I have to answer to.
Now, I agree with y'all on that.
That's where
I
the
agree with y'all
standing needed
100%
to
of
come
that.
Right.
in.
He missed the opportunity to fix
Right.
something.
Right.
He missed it.
Right.
I'm not disagreeing that
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
I'm just saying is that we can't hold certain expectations, morality, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, maybe his upbringing wasn't like ours.
Right.
Maybe he never had to deal with being broke.
Okay.
Maybe he might have had certain advantages financially that we didn't have.
Okay.
So maybe he's not understanding that part of that being black side.
Okay.
So that's why when you say all skin folk ain't like kinfolk, okay, I can probably ride with you on that, because maybe he just haven't experienced the blatant racism that we might have. And don't get me wrong, because he got in a position that a lot of people that look like us don't get to.
Right.
And so that's why I agree with y'all, where he missed the opportunity to go ahead and do something, but you do nothing, and then the first thing out your mouth is, well, I'm a black man. You can't fool what you
Right.
can't. You definitely didn't fool me.
Right.
So I know he didn't fool us
Right,
with
yeah,
that with
yeah.
that talk.
that-
Trying to play
that's-
3-car Marley.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
why
what side you rolling on,
Right,
bro?
right.
And that's where I have an issue at because I understand exactly what you're saying. Yes,
Yeah.
he may not have come from the same neck of the woods. His
Mm-hmm.
upbringing may be different, but the amount of empathy and sympathy that you show towards the situation in the position that you hold speaks volume to our
It
community.
should have been the same energy
And it-
you used to make sure that justice
Right.
was served. I feel you.
And,
Okay.
and not only that,
I got you.
regardless of you being a black man. Because when everything happened with George Floyd, we said it on our show. We saw so many white folks that were on camera crying, breaking
They
their
were
heart.
horrified.
They were horrified. But not only that, you as a black man in front of the camera, as much as you are handling this case, should have shown more empathy and whatnot towards the situation, other than I'm a black man.
Urgency as well.
That
Right,
too.
right.
This has happened in March.
Right.
Right.
This just come down late September.
Right.
Why the
Why did it
delay?
take so long?
Well, I think my personal opinion, I think that he realized, or his office realized, that now it's at a tipping point. We had to do something.
That's
We
why
had
I
to do
brought up
something.
the $12 million.
You know what I'm saying?
They had to
Right.
do something.
Had to do something.
To make it go away. Because let's be honest, ever since the news first broke out in March, all you hear is
Say her name.
say her name.
Right.
Breonna Taylor.
Hey, today would be a nice day to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor.
Right.
It's-
Right.
I'm talking about it's everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Right.
Say her name.
Snapchat,
The
NBA,
the
NFL.
WNBA,
But,
It's
but,
been-
that's,
yeah.
but that's also my
It's
thing.
everywhere.
MLB.
You are seeing
Yeah.
everybody.
Soccer, it was everywhere.
Everywhere.
But even, and this is where I rebuttal what you said.
Okay.
Even in that situation, if you would have started out, because you got to answer to these folks, you see everybody who's now joining in on this fight due to LeBron James, Oprah, all these different people. There's still a point in time where you as a man, as a black man, sit there and say, okay, I've got to unfortunately change my position in this.
Or do something.
Right. You had that opportunity and you chose to do nothing. And what really bothered me is the interviews that I watched him do, especially the day, and we were all here when we were watching
We were
the
recording that
update.
day.
Yeah, we were recording that day, watching the updates. You couldn't even, yes, granted, please understand, we know that in politics, you can only give certain amount of information and answers.
Right.
But you couldn't even really
He
answer.
couldn't even get no kind of information.
You couldn't do anything. So you're not only are you now, and I'm gonna call him a sellout. That's how I feel about
No, I
it.
feel you.
Not only have you sold us out, but you're not giving us any comfort that there was anything that was given to say that she had any justice in the decision that was made.
Right.
You're not giving any of that information.
Right.
And even
And that's
her.
why I won't call him a sellout. I think that's a bitch move. That he
Oh
bitch.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I think it's all. It's all the same pot.
Right. all
It's
the
like
same
gumbo,
pot.
nigga. It's
all
all
in the
part of the
same
ingredients
pot.
making the same soup. You know what
It's
I'm
all in
saying?
the same pot. But
It's
that's-
just like gumbo.
But that's my issue.
Right.
It's like in our community, we're taught, well, let me speak for me. When I grew up, I was taught that the man is the head of the household. We're taught that the man is the strong, he's the
Protect.
tower.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You are a black man in a seat of power, and you are not protecting your culture. You are not protecting your people by handling the situation the way you
I'm
handle
gonna take
it.
it further.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna take it further.
Go ahead.
So, just for my personal information that people don't know about me,
Mm-hmm.
I live in a household, a biracial household.
Right.
My old lady is white.
Mm-hmm.
My kids are biracial.
Right.
But one thing that can never be misconstrued about me, not just physically, but I am a black man.
Right.
And I will always be a black man. I was black before I met her.
Right.
I've been black during our relationship, and I will be black after her if it ever comes to that.
Right.
I will always be black.
Right.
So there's one thing that kind of, because they take his relationship with his wife as a reason why he made this, and that kind of bothers me a little bit just
Bothers the snot out of me.
because I've been in interracial relationships. Don't get me wrong, I love black girls. I've dated all kind of black girls.
I like
Asian
women.
I like women. All right, Asian women, Latina. I dated them all.
There's no discrimination on
No
this show.
discrimination.
No discrimination.
But just because I'm in a relationship and I have biracial, I don't want nobody to ever get it construed that I don't care about my people.
Right. Right.
And I don't know if it's pressure from his lady or pressure from his bosses to kind of help him go with that decision. Now, if you talking about he's doing all that shit because of that reason, then yeah, he's a sellout.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, I've been on a situation where people question my blackness because of my relationship, and sometimes I don't want people to jump to that as a reason why he kind of helped with this decision.
Right.
I just think he did it because he had a job and went what his bosses, his masters told him to do.
Mm-hmm. I want to say this.
The way you said it, his masters.
His masters.
Well, I mean, let's call it what it is.
Master.
You trying to tell me he don't have
off.
you trying to tell me he don't have a white man that he answer to?
Oh, he do.
Oh, of course he does.
Like he could be attorney general of whatever. He has somebody he answers to that probably don't look like us.
Right.
And it was like, look here, you either gonna do what we tell you to do, or you could get gone.
But this is
you don't need to get just for a little nigga girl.
But this is also,
you know what I'm saying? That's how
this
it
is
went
also,
down.
I wouldn't be surprised if the conversation went like that.
Right.
I wouldn't be there. But this is also my thing. So we don't know what kind of pressure he has from the people that are in his life.
We know there's pressure.
There's
on
pressure.
both sides.
We just don't know what
sides.
kind. But something that you said that I think that him as a man in an interracial relationship should take into consideration is if you are at a certain standpoint, just like we know that your old lady supports you on any round that you going.
She right.
And she's furious with the situation just like the rest of us. But if she wasn't, that will cause conflict in your household because of the way that you're
without it. What?
Right. So my issue
I love you, baby, but I mean, if we gotta disagree, look, I know where you're getting at. I love my old lady, I love my babies, but on some real shit, if she can't understand me being black, what the fuck are we talking about?
Right.
What are we doing?
Right.
Because she'll tell you, I'm unapologetically black.
And you are.
Me too.
All of us are.
Because she knows that's what I'm going to represent and that's what I'm going to be.
Right.
She doesn't try to change me or nothing. She knew what the real was when she first met me.
And I think that's what's key. Right. You know, if I'm at work, I work at a corporate environment.
Yeah.
And I'm around where we work at. There's international people. I mean, people from all over the world,
everywhere that come through there.
When they come in contact with me, and what you see here is how I'm at work,
and we are a witness to that.
I do not change for none of them.
No,
we talk about issues. I tell them how I feel.
Hey, I don't need to change.
Because my thing is like this. I never want to get in a situation where it comes down to. I acted one way, and then you turn around and see me talking to like Rodney. You know, because me and Rodney talk a lot. And then you say, well, why you say that around Rodney? Don't say that around me. Now, don't get me wrong. There are certain things I keep within our community. You know what I'm saying? And there's reasons for that. But when it comes to issues and you ask how I feel, I'm going to tell you how I feel. Answer. It's going to be the same answer when I was talking to Rodney or talking to somebody else.
I might just have to word it differently.
Right, you know what I'm saying? I might be like, nigga.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
There might be less niggas who in my conversation depending on who I'm talking to.
Right. But I'm still going to tell you how I feel. Now, but I wanted to bring up, too, is that I thought when I was reading autobiography of Malcolm X.
Hold that dog.
Okay.
Let's take a quick
commercial break.
Because I want you to marinate on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I got a feeling you about to drop something.
And then when we come back, we're also going to have some of the top questions they're still asking about what actually took place.
No, that nigga did that on purpose. Cause he like, oh, this nigga going. Let me just sit back and watch. Girl, give me that kitty cat.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bruh.
You know, give me that kitty cat.
I think what really
make it
got
wop.
me.
Whack, whatever you want to call it.
What took me off guard
Soaking wet.
was your
I want it so wet, leave an imprint.
What took me off guard was your actual
That nigga, rawr.
yeah, I was like, what?
Nigga doing Eartha Kitt over here.
Yo, welcome back.
Hey, it's funny because that's what they used to do at them
Right,
Panther
yeah.
games. They were like, "Row, row, row."
Somebody let Catwoman in here. Marcus, I don't have any panties on.
Y'all already know what kind of nonsense takes place.
Girl, give me that kitty cat.
Stay tuned for the
Oh, that's gonna be on Patreon, nigga. That's gonna be on Patreon.
Y'all stay tuned.
Hey, wait till we see the music
I'm gonna slow that mug. I'm gonna slow it down. Get the disco lights on.
Wait till we make the music video. Shit.
The soundtrack and everything is.
Bruh. This nigga said that's gonna go on TikTok. I might have to put that on TikTok.
That's a TikTok one
That's
right
a TikTok.
there.
This
That's
nigga said,
good.
"Girl, give me that kitty
Bruh.
cat."
Girl,
That-
give me that kitty
That legit
cat.
is a TikTok.
I was like, "Nigga, I agree, but you gotta say it like that."
That legit is. Anyway, going back into today's conversation because
Hold on, I gotta get the kitty cat on my
right, because he threw us all the way off with that
my
one.
leg shaking.
For those that are just tuning in, as Jamel's controlling himself over there, and Lamar comes back down from his kitty
the
cat
heat on?
rant. Don't worry, the fans on too.
That's what happened when you laughing at old foolishness.
Listen,
we was talking about something serious.
we were, and I think that's why that's one of the good things.
Well,
I
hell, you
love.
gotta break up the goddamn seriousness
you got
sometimes with
to.
some foolishness.
You
shit. I don't
do,
give a
but
damn.
going back to the seriousness, you actually had something you were getting ready to say before the break.
So I'm saying it's like in the autobiography of Malcolm X, I thought it was very interesting when he talked about when he was in Lansing, and well, in general, he started talking about the different white people he came in contact with.
Right.
He went to he was at a boarding school, reform school, and he said, you know, he met this white lady, and they treated him nice to any white lady he used to treat, because you know, when he's in Lansing, there's a lot of racism he was dealing with.
Yeah.
And so, then even like all the people that was around in the boarding school were white, was treating him nice. They made him, then the school he ended up going to, they made him head of the class. But at the same time, the same white people treating him treating him good, they were saying stuff like, yeah, you know, them niggers over there.
Right.
You know, and, the teacher at the school who actually treat them with respect would make little jokes about calling niggers and nigger jokes or whatever. And so my point is that, and he didn't actually raise this point, but he's alluding to it, is that even though they might be treating you a certain way, in their mind you still a nigga.
Yep.
Oh, it's the Martha Stewart. It's
Yeah.
the Martha Stewart theology of that. You know, she gave black folks jobs until
Right.
that one day she came and dropped the N-bomb.
Oh, you talking? That's Paula Dean. That's Paula Dean. That's Paula Dean.
Sorry, Martha. You went to jail for something else. Sorry.
Inside of trading, she was jail.
First of all, Martha can't diss us.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
because
Snoop.
I'm saying Snoop know people.
Yeah.
He'll put somebody on that ass real quick. Oh, Martha, what happened? Now I got to take care of you.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? I think that's what people, a lot of like Daniel Cameron people think, oh, because I'm in a certain position, because I'm here, because I'm there, you know, I'm different. You still a
No,
nigga.
you still.
They may not say it to your face because of the time we living in, you know, that's HR issues. But when you in around, they saying nigga jokes.
And now,
they probably call you nigga behind your back.
And
you
not
know?
only that, they really now are saying, oh, now we got this nigga
Right. Oh, he ain't gonna go on his own people. We good.
He doing exactly
what
we
told
him to do.
He's doing the song and dance all day long.
Okay,
Right.
I retract my earlier statement. This nigga sell out. I tried.
I knew if we got there long enough, you would see exactly what we were saying.
Because like I could point out a sellout from a mile away, but
Of course.
I tried to give this motherfucker benefit of the doubt that
Right.
he's just doing his job because he got to answer the master. But now I'm like,
Now I will say this.
Okay.
When you talk about morality and legality, they are on two different sides of the spectrum.
Yes.
So some things may be morally wrong, but not legally wrong.
But that's what I'm saying. So what exactly is considered justice then if you can't, because this is morally wrong.
Right. But
The reason why they're not dropping charges is because they're trying to say it wasn't legally wrong.
But here's my thing, as someone, 'cause I don't study law.
Yeah.
So as someone who studies law, let me do it from a different angle.
Okay.
There's been a lot of cases. Going back to autobiography of Malcolm X is one example. So at one time he was running a ring where they were breaking in houses and robbing people.
Oh yeah.
All right?
I remember that.
So he had 2 white women from a middle class family, maybe a little higher up, than 3 other black dudes. Right. One black dude got away. Malcolm X is his boy Shorty. You know, they all, and the 2 white women got caught, went to court. Typically, for what he did, first offense is 1 or 2 years. They gave them 10 years concurrent for what he did. So my point to that is that although you may have to do within what the legal thing standpoint, you go after the maximum you can.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure there was other charges or more things he could have put on that for that police officer. You know, if anything, the other 2 should have got charged with the one got charged if you couldn't prove anything with them, and then charge the 3rd one with manslaughter. You mean tell you can't prove manslaughter for that? At the very least, you can't prove manslaughter?
And there's gonna go something. I'm gonna go into that.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't understand that. Okay, maybe it don't fall to the degree of murder, but you can. I'm sure that could be manslaughter, bro.
But see, that also, and this kind of goes off of what
the details of the situation.
Yeah, and that kind of goes off of what you said too. What do we equate to being justice? Well, one, we have to tear this whole justice system down and rebuild it for there to be any kind of justice for our people. Because right now, it's not geared towards our people. Point blank. Period.
When they wrote the law, they didn't write the law with us in mind.
Right.
Bingo.
Right.
You took it out of my mouth because I think a lot of people don't realize.
And that's the point. A lot of white people don't realize when we raise certain things. What's the law? The law was never intended for us.
And that's what oh my God, that's why I love y'all. Because, bro, when the Declaration of Independence was written, we were still slaves.
Right.
When the Constitution was written,
still
slaves. So by the time you get to Lincoln, you still slaves. All that infrastructure has already been built in place.
Right.
With the intent of the citizens. We weren't citizens.
Right.
We were still property.
Right.
So by the time you get freed and slavery is abolished, you want us to assimilate into your infrastructure that we built.
Right.
But it still wasn't intended
for us. We were always pawns.
Yep.
And if you look at throughout history,
God, I love y'all niggas.
We were pawns. we were pawns for the economic gain as slaves. We were pawns in a political game when Lincoln freed us. Yeah. Because it had nothing to do with Lincoln.
Lincoln didn't give a fuck about us.
He didn't like the institution of slavery, but he didn't think we were equal to a white man.
Right.
So I'm saying,
pretty much his
mindset. So the only reason why So I'm saying, but only reason why he freed us because he feel if he take away the economic gain for the southern states, they would come into the Union. So free the slaves, like anything else, you take away the money. You know what I'm saying? Follow the money, Lebowski. Follow the money. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
So you take away that money, then you figure they'll come into
you gotta
the Union.
To the Union.
You know what I'm saying? So it was never. Then when it came to, you go down to Nixon, the war on drugs was black people being used as pawns.
Yep.
You go down to Reagan, war on drugs, black people used as pawns.
Or people of color at that point.
Joe Biden and Clinton, you know what I'm saying? 3 strike laws.
Yeah.
You know what?
Crime bill.
A lot of people don't even realize that.
Hold that thought because I want to piggyback off that, which is really why I never said this to y'all or anybody. Kind of questions my point.
Oh, there you go, right there.
Yeah. Matter of fact, you should throw them on the car. Oh, we got a caller.
We got a caller.
Hello, hello.
We can't hear him. You can hear him.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't know why he do that to us.
Yeah.
We have a caller.
Let me think. Cause I got a show at 5. Can you do it at 6?
6 o'clock.
So make it
Just call
6:15.
me, please.
I'll,
right,
I'll call you.
Call me.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right.
Bye-bye.
Sorry, y'all. That was
That was business.
yeah.
We had to answer that.
That was our business.
That's business. We had to answer that one.
We setting up calls for y'all.
We got
y'all. That kind of brings me to my point with that whole nomination of Kamala Harris.
I was getting to that. Go ahead.
Because me and you had this conversation, but I never really expressed. She once never really consider herself black.
Right.
She pretty much.
She said she was Indian.
She said she was Indian. I ain't talking about like Native American. I'm talking about like red dot.
Right.
Like over there in India, like over in Asia.
Right.
So it's like she's being used as a pawn.
And it is.
And she's being used as a pawn on the Democrat side. And then we already know about all the black pawns on the Republican side.
Right.
So to me, this goes beyond politics. We need to just break down this whole party system, period.
Yep.
And just raise up the best candidates. Because if we keep breaking this up into Republican and Democrat, and they both keep giving us shitty-ass goddamn candidates, on some real shit, I'm losing faith in the actual purpose of voting. And the reason why I say that is because this is going to be my 4th choice to vote.
Same.
And I voted in 2. I didn't vote in 2016 because I felt if I put in Hillary, yes, it's cool to have the first woman president, but what exactly is she going to do?
Right.
And then if I vote in Trump, I already see what he likes to do. So it's again in 2020. I'm starting to lose faith in the purpose of voting.
And see, I hear what you're saying, and then here's where I began to get conflicted. Because I started thinking about like Farrakhan, some stuff he says, and some of the Pan-African people, some stuff they say, 5%ers and that black nationalists, all that stuff. And then I almost lean that way because it's like this country is not ours.
It never was.
No matter how much you want to say you love this country, all that stuff, this country don't love you back.
It does not.
It's like a jilted lover. You love that person, but that person not loving you back.
They beating us up.
Right.
They killing us.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're in an abusive relationship.
It is.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what else do we know?
So, right, I'm gonna get to that too. So I think that, I understand why you have people say, like, you're Pan-African, all right, let's go back to the motherland. I understand it. And sometimes I lean that way. Or when, Farrakhan had made mention at certain times that this country need to give us a land so we have a plot of land. That we have our own section among black people govern themselves, black people. So I understand that because how you tear down the institution, rebuild it, with people, and make them relinquish that power.
You can't.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to kill them.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Without war. How you do it without war?
Yep.
How do you do it without force? You know what I'm saying? So unless all the black people globally come together, it's not enough of us in this country to fight against them. You know what I'm saying? Unless you combine with your brown people. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they getting shitted on just as
I
much as us.
I agree.
I don't see why.
I agree. I'm just saying, and I'm not suggesting that is the solution, but it's like when we come together if we have a community meeting, you have to brainstorm these type of things. What do you do? What do you do with the ones that say they want to ally with you that don't look like you? Do you exclude them out, or like in your situation?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your woman is not black, right? Of course she loves you. She want to ride with you, right? So what do you do with people that's outside of the community? Do you include them in? You know what I'm saying? Do you not? So it's all these different issues, all these different, nuances that you got to work out.
Yeah.
So is it just best to step back and get your own? and let them have the country? I don't know. I'm just talking about I'm just throwing out there.
Yeah,
'Cause
you just
I don't know
throwing
the
it.
answer.
No,
You
I don't,
know what I'm
I
saying?
don't think nobody.
I know the answer.
But I
Honestly, nobody
understand.
does.
But I understand when people say that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you get sick and tired of the same old thing
shit.
over and over again, and you don't have control over it, and nor is it it's no really recourse because, like we said earlier, the law is not written for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Never was,
never
never will
was.
be.
So they can find different loopholes
Yeah.
used against us because the law was intended for them and not for us.
Yeah.
You know, and so they use that as a weapon against us.
Yeah.
So so having our own may mean we have to leave.
And it's crazy because we got all these civil rights acts and all this and stuff. but
Right.
Still, if they haven't changed the actual foundation of what the Constitution
That's it right
and
there.
the Declaration.
So they had they added certain amendments. You know what I'm saying? The right to vote, 14th, I think it's the 14th Amendment. So those things, they had 13th Amendment. But even the 13th Amendment, they had the little clause, but if you a felon.
Right.
So that was a way for them to bring us back into slavery.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like, even when they try to do little things, even when Lyndon Johnson, some of the stuff he did, and then you listen to some of the stuff he said afterwards, you know what I'm saying? It's always like, show one hand, hide the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, but, there's some ulterior motives behind it.
Which is why I've always said, fuck the symbolism shit with all the Black Lives Matter
Right.
shit and all the courts.
Well,
and
yeah,
churches.
right.
Where's the action?
But even
Where's
when they
the-
do action,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because, these amendments were supposed, like, the civil rights and all that stuff, civil rights bill and all that kind of stuff
Yeah.
was supposed to be there to help us. But then they added little clause or they do little things behind the scenes
It's too much.
that really distorts the bill,
It's too
distorts the
many
actions.
loopholes.
It's too many loopholes,
Yeah.
right? And so you said all these different things they do. It's like, damn them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Really?
they're always going to find a loophole. But y'all hold that thought. We're going to take one more commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to wrap everything up. Y'all stay tuned.
Smooth, baby. Steadily dipping. And for all the BKs in 93, but you don't hear me though.
I just want to know, are you trying to silently say you got good pussy? That what you saying? We just trying to get clear.
I
I'm
did
just
say earlier.
Okay, I just want to make sure. You know what I'm saying?
Get a bag of chips and a dollar wine. Roll down Greenleaf, make a left for caress. Fire up the endo, can't be smoking on that stress. Hanging out with grip figures. Ready to smoke them snoops, so my fingers on the trigger. Always ready for some sex tripping. That's why I'm dipping and dabbing, crippin' and dipping. Never catch me slipping. All the women on thick. Raise up the phone
and false with the switch, front and back, and pause on 3.
Uncle Face.
Last top folk sitting on them D's.
Uncle Face?
Nah, this Crips and Blood.
Oh, that sound like Face.
Welcome back, you guys. We are still having
Chill.
a
Sup, cuz?
controversial.
It's an impromptu conversation.
Right.
I did want to bring up with the fact that they just did the grand jury and they found not even guilty, but they acquitted, whatever. I don't even remember the results because I was so pissed off.
It ain't had nothing to do with murder or manslaughter. So
No, they
it don't matter.
charged. They got the other two walks. And the one was charged with wanton abandonment,
Endangerment.
wanton endangerment, right? Wanton
Right.
endangerment.
Which so those are some of. I'm glad you said that because that leads into some of the troubling questions that are still remaining right now, and this is part of the reasons why people have so many issues with Daniel Cameron because he cannot answer these questions. One of them is how can Haskins, which is one of the officers that was charged, to be charged with wanton endangerment 3 of Taylor's neighbors by shooting them in their homes, but was not charged with that when it came to Breonna herself. So if you shot people in the other homes, her neighbors, but yet she had 6 shots to her, that should have been a double charge. You should have got for them and for her. It should have been for every person.
Or for each count, for each house that it went into.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the next one is, even if, I don't remember how to pronounce these people's names, so I'm probably butchering them like I always do. Madeline and Cosgrove had the right to defend themselves by returning fire against Walker, who is Breonna's boyfriend, after he shot at them and hit one of the officers. Did they have to justify shooting her, an unarmed person who had no kind of threat towards them?
Well, here's my thing with that. if you come with a no-knock warrant
At 1 a.m.
at 1 a.m., bust down the door, you don't think no one's gonna shoot back if they have a pistol?
That's
So as soon as the shot from Walker came, did you announce yourself as police?
Well, and that's probably another thing that's been like, I don't think they can't prove, did they, tell out that they were police or
Right.
And I think it's a no-knock warrant. So they don't intend on.
Well, that's my thing. That's my thing. But
their presence.
when you bust in the door, no-knock warrant is to actually catch you off guard.
Yes.
So you come in, boom, you bust in.
Police.
You don't have to say. You don't say police then because of no-knock warrant. Okay, I get that.
Yes.
Soon as the shots fired, then you say police. So you let them know, hey, you shooting at the police.
Yeah.
And at that time he returned fire. Still fires again. Then yes, you can say as a Mattingly and Cosgrove do have the right to shoot back.
right.
You know what I'm saying, to defend themselves.
But my thing is,
Which is in question if they even acknowledge that they're police.
Right. And that goes back to that.
Yes, I get you.
Right.
but this is my issue as well. Why couldn't you have picked a better time than 1 a.m.?
Well, I think it's the element of surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that.
They don't know. No,
I understand that.
No, that's the point of
That's the whole point. Yeah. You want to catch them.
catch them off guard.
I get that. I get the point of catching them off guard. But it goes back to what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I don't know the neighborhood they live in, but because of our culture,
Shit, I live in Cary. I ain't got to worry about the crime. But I know if a motherfucker come busting in my door at 1 o'clock in the morning,
they gonna meet Roscoe.
Nah, fuck Roscoe. I got the pistol. I'm shooting back.
That's what Roscoe is.
Oh, that's what you call Roscoe?
They call Roscoe. That's Roscoe.
But that's
I just call him 9mm or that bitch screaming.
but that's my issue.
How that bitch stuttering. So you think he had some kind of speech impediment?
Hey, bro.
I'm like stuttering.
If I said hold 17 shots, I'm letting it fly.
And that's my thing. That's my issue number one.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1 a.m. Granted, yes, you have a no-knock warrant, but it's 1 a.m. and with the way our culture is, we are trained automatically. Somebody is doing something that you protect your household, and him as a man is doing what he's supposed to do. He's protecting his household.
Right.
Okay. That's number one.
And I ain't never heard niggas just shoot at police. Just shoot at police.
Right.
Right.
In general, niggas ain't.
I'm not saying it don't happen.
Right. But in general, they don't.
And then number two for me is okay. He shot fires first. The boyfriend did. Mm-hmm. At that point, yes, you should announce that you're police.
Police.
But if he is like how you just said you would be, you got 17 rounds in that thing. I'm not going. So why not at that point? You have armor and everything.
You better scream louder than that
you
17 shots coming.
Why have you not taken cover? Because at this point, you know whoever you're looking for is in the house. Why have you not taken cover until those rounds stop? Announce that you are police,
right,
and then enter and do what you need to do.
Hey, I'm straight up pulling like bad boys. Who in my house?
Right.
The devil.
The devil wanted here.
That's my problem. That was probably number two.
The devil is not welcome here.
That's where those are two issues that I have. But then thirdly, I know some officers. I don't know about Louisville, but if I'm doing a no-knock warrant, some officers now, if not all, are required to wear body cams, and some are even required to wear mics.
Where's the body cam and the mic footage?
Thank you.
Audio. Where that shit at?
That's my problem.
It got damaged when he shot.
Oh, it did it? Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's my issue. So that's my issue. It's 1 a.m. For me, the way that this whole thing is set up,
them jokers got that audio and video somewhere.
It is wrong because audio and video, ever since, especially all of the deaths started happening by cops, dash cams were required to be in there.
Right.
Body cams.
Well, most police departments have just been like, look, we got to. Because I think most states been passing that law to just make sure that you got some kind of
it on you.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
They've been making it damn near mandatory with them in every police
department. And that's my issue. Where is that information in this case? Where is that information?
Well, we the public. They ain't gonna never give it to us.
Right. But then that girl goes back to where my issue is with Daniel. Because as an attorney,
because he has the power to see that
you
shit.
can see this information. You can see where this stuff is.
Damn, baby.
So where
you just put the nail?
is?
You just put the nail in the coffin and buy that niggas a sell out because he has the power to go see that shit.
That's what I don't get.
Motherfucking Cameron.
All right, and then 30 before
sell out ass motherfucker.
Right, and then
got this nigga started now.
Thirdly, before
I tried.
You tried, but that's why I said he's a sellout to me. I don't care what nobody says, and I will argue this all day
but
long.
I'm just saying, I just keep proving up all the points. I'm like, yeah,
thirdly,
it's
the
kinda
third
getting rough trying to protect this nigga.
There's no protecting him. I'm throwing
Well,
him to the
not
wolves.
protect him, but trying to hard not call that nigga sellout. But
listen, I'm throwing you to the wolves, sir. And I said it on camera. Try me if you want to.
This nigga was quick to sell out like he was a goddamn hooker selling pussy. He's like, oh, here, everybody come get it. Get it. Get it.
Then third, he's so stupid. Thirdly, the fact that he gonna put his leg up too. The third thing, so we can wrap up because we got more stuff to do today. The third thing was that people are asking is, did the grand jury even get to vote on whether Matt Lee and Cosgrove, which were the ones that were not charged or let go, they were let go, should they have been charged with any degree of homicide, or did Cameron decide, and this is why people are mad at him because he has this choice, or did Cameron decide for them that they acted in self-defense?
Right.
My thing with officers, granted the training that they go through, and we've talked about the training because you went to
that self-defense clause is a goddamn motherfucker, dog.
That right there.
That's all they gotta say is I fear for my life and I did it in self-defense, and then
But
pretty
my
much
thing
is
is,
gonna get off, bro.
like I said at the
was
beginning,
taught in the academy.
Right. Yes, your training is short amount of time in the academy compared to some of these people that
22
have
weeks, I believe.
right.
That's what it was.
You know, that's not even. Don't even starting on that. That's a whole nother show when it comes to training. When it comes to officers, but you're saying self-defense. How was it self-defense? As soon as, which I understand, they shoot you. You're trying to train at the same time to shoot back, but when you were planning this, because y'all had to have a strategic planning meeting before you did this no-knock warrant. So everybody was on the same page.
Right.
So why didn't you go through everything that was in your training and everything that was taught to you along with common sense? It's 1 a.m. I can't get off of that factor. I'm sorry. It's 1 a.m. Granted, yes, he's shooting, but it's 1 a.m. You are entering in someone's household, which means you are startling them, which is
Busting back.
Right. So self-defense means, okay, I should have had some kind of response time of waiting and then acted. Now, once you announced yourself and he kept shooting, by all means, empty your clip. That's your job.
They every state should get rid of no-knock warrants.
Yeah, it's not strategic. I understand the purpose behind it. I get the purpose behind it. But I don't feel like it's strategic. I feel like with no-knock warrants, especially in this case, it ends up being more death and issues.
Are they doing no-knock warrants in the subs?
Nope.
No, I'm just saying. Hear me out. So over here in Raleigh, in North Hills, that section, are they doing no-knock warrants, or are they just doing it on the Durham side?
Let me say it like this, and y'all know
trust
I don't.
me, I already know the answer.
Y'all know I don't cuss on the
me.
show. Hell no.
Trust me, I know the answer. I'm just trying to point out when is this no-knock warrant? Is it convenient for certain like addresses?
It is.
Is this?
It's just
or is this a universal
it's
tactic?
I
know the answer. I'm just being.
I'm gonna say we all know the answer, but it's just like if you live in the suburbs and it's a domestic violence call, they gonna send one officer. You come in the projects and it's a domestic call, they sending the whole team.
Right.
I'm just saying that goes.
It goes back to what we said. The law was never created with us in mind. And even though, granted, they're adding all these amendments, they're adding all these things, they're, like Jamel said, there's always that clause that's in there that keeps us in this box. So, and granted, and I was like you, I've given up on the voting system. But then I had to also remember, if I give up on the voting system and I look and I don't do my research into these candidates, how can we change it?
And that's why I want to clarify when I say I'm losing hope in the voting process, because I should say I should have preference as in my take as in I believe in voting when it comes to getting like aldermans, mayors, Senate people, especially people that's going to really affect the laws. Because let's be honest, to me, a president is a puppet. It's just a face.
Right.
They don't have the final say.
Honestly, if you can affect who's sitting in those Senate seats in those House of Representatives spots, I think you can get more done there because
here's my issue with that.
To me, it's different. It's different agendas.
Right. I understand what you're saying, and I don't totally discount it. But I guess it's like if the head is sick, then so is the rest of the body.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you go into a system,
You gotta cut
that's
head
already. But let's say you go into the system that's already sick.
Yeah.
And it don't matter who you vote. You can vote the best candidate in there. But once they get into that system, they get affected.
It's a cancer.
You know what I'm saying? And it begins to eat up what they can do. It begins to eat up, some of the things they try to do. If they don't submit to the system,
they're already outcast.
Anywhere they still not gonna be effective anyway. So anywhere it go, it's either submit or die.
Yeah,
it's that kind of system.
And then you also got to think about it too. Whoever the head is, they're going to want to bring in more people that think like them,
like-minded people.
It's it's just like this. Trump has brought in 12 different. Is it judges? I want to say judges.
Oh no, I've heard that when he brought in. No, it was like 180 or something like that.
None of them look like us.
Not only that, none of their ideology is geared towards us, and not only that, it doesn't matter who you get after that; they appointed for life.
Hello.
They got to die.
We're not talking, and that's why I think
they got to die for that seat to become available.
We're not talking about 4 years like we have to deal with Trump.
No,
we're talking about
death.
40 plus.
To death do you part.
Right.
It's a marriage.
Right.
So, but as we're wrapping up, this is the only thing that I have finally to say. Release the transcripts. That's all I want to say.
Come on, Nate.
That's all I want. Release the transcripts. If I final words. Because that's mine. That's release the transcripts. That's what I'm going to be screaming.
Final word is that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I mean, we're still dealing with shit that my parents had to deal with, and then when they were kids, their parents had to deal with,
Right.
and then when my grandparents were kids, their parents had to deal with. So when my great grandparents were kids, their parents had to deal with it. Like, this was becoming like literally a generational thing, and it's like, Lord,
I'm over it.
not just over it, just Lord help us all, because I mean, I'm emotionally drained and spent about even. I just even talking about it is like, we've been there,
right?
And this is again, so I'm all out of words.
Mel.
So you can miss me with that bullshit. Just
Well,
that's my final words.
y'all heard it here first. We had that was smooth. I gotta give you that.
With
That was smooth.
bullshit,
That was smooth.
Daniel Cameron.
That was smooth.
I can't believe you have my black ass up here trying to not call you a sellout, and you is a fucking sellout, nigga.
Listen.
Fuck wrong.
Make sure you guys have gone over to the website. You'll find all the information there.
Damn sure ain't our kinfolk, motherfucker.
Nah, ain't no kinfolk.
No kinfolk here.
www.ioftenwonder19.com.
That nigga look like the motherfucker on Django.
Right.
We about to
Who that nigga on the neck?
What's the matter? We sick, boss?
Listen, I can't. Listen, we had to get that off our chest. Listen,
Right.
we use our platform to get you guys the information out and to show you.
Oh God.
You know, one, we always don't agree, as you saw.
Right.
But we converted for someone to agree. But we also want to show you the facts. And
I tried to get a nigga the benefit of the doubt.
you tried. It didn't work. You tried. But until next time, I'm your girl, Black Barbara Walters.
Chill, welcome, more.
And of course,
It's that nigga.
Until next time, we love y'all.
Y'all be good.
Peace.